Okay, hey YouTube. It has been a very long time since I made my last video. And I wish that I was making this video under different circumstances. I moved out to San Francisco a little bit more than a year ago, and it has been a very fantastic experience, even with all of the craziness that's going on with COVID and the pandemic. But let's put a pin in that and come back to that subject at some point later. There's been so much that's happened over the last year that really warrants discussion and can certainly be explored in subsequent videos. The Netflix documentary Disclosure, absolutely fantastic. Loved that movie. Definitely want to come back and talk about what it was like seeing my experience as a trans person, seeing trans representation in media over the years, so succinctly and clearly sort of described. But let's put a pin in that and come back to it. We could talk about J.K. Rowling, but let's really just frankly never talk about J.K. Rowling again because I don't know what's happened to her. I don't know why she doesn't care about her legacy or wants to side with the TERFs and be on the wrong side of history, but who cares? She's done. Let's not talk about her anymore at all. We could talk about the Supreme Court ruling in June that said that LGBT people can't be discriminated against for being LGBT because that's sex-based discrimination. But let's not talk about that. Rather, let's talk about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And rest in peace, she died tonight. And I know that a lot of LGBT people out there, myself included, when we heard this news, it felt like a stomach punch because 2020 has been a pretty shitty year. And to hear that Ruth Bader Ginsburg has died, to know that Trump is sitting there waiting to appoint whatever moron he wants to appoint, and that the Republican Party and Mitch McConnell are ready to rubber stamp this idiot through, is terrifying to a lot of LGBT people, to a lot of minorities in America. And a lot of people are sitting here thinking, well, this is the end. We're screwed. We're defeated. And that's not true. Millions of dollars have poured in to Democratic candidates tonight, to Democratic causes. And what I'm asking you to do is give whatever you can to these races, whether that's your money, and I'll put a link here in the video description, whether that's your time volunteering on behalf of these candidates, or whether that's just your time volunteering in your local political process. Go volunteer to work the polls so that they have enough poll workers so that your neighbors, the people who vote in your district, don't have to stand in line for hours to vote. Go give whatever it is that you can, your time, your money, your energy. Do it, because that's what being an American means. Being an American isn't about getting what I want at your expense. That's not what we were founded on. That's not an American value. You can agree to disagree. We can have different political points of view. That's fine. That's part of being American. But this dark turn that our country has taken over the last 4 years is really just the equivalent of shitposting, but in real life, where Trump supporters don't care about whether or not he's delivering anything to them because he hasn't. He objectively has not made the economy better. Tens of thousands of Americans have died needlessly. He's disgraced the presidency, regardless of what your political beliefs are. But the reason that his base loves him is because he sits there and he shits on other people because he's a weak, pathetic coward. And they love him for this, that he's going to build a wall. He didn't build shit. He didn't do anything to change immigration. All he did was make America an international disgrace. And if you don't like that, and you shouldn't like that, then go do something about it. And if you don't like the fact that these Republican stooges in the Senate and in Congress are just rubber stamping this moron and really, frankly, betraying their own political ideals as well as just betraying America, then go do something about it. Give your money, give your time, give your energy, and let's put this country back on track. Because there used to be a time in America where you could just disagree. But we all still agree that there were problems that we should work together to solve them. And maybe there were like different opinions about how we go about doing that. But at this point in time, like, you have different versions of the truth, where you have like QAnon or whatever the fuck else is going on over there in the right wing, in Fox News, that is simply just like detached from reality. And that's not going to get changed overnight or anytime soon, probably. But what we can change here in the next 50 days is who's going to represent this country, who's going to lead this country moving forward, because clearly what we have right now is not working. And he had his shot, he blew it, so get the fucker out of office and let's fix America.